Hello and welcome to episode 39 of the Pixel Related Podcast. It is, what is today's date? It's Monday, right? Today's Monday, April 24th. It's just a little bit.
Today's just blend together now.
They do. When I don't work on a Monday, I have no idea what's going on. So anyways, I'm your host, Kyle. With me, as always, we have Addam.
Whoa, what the fuck was that?
That was probably
Gus?
My bad.
Trying to make an entrance, damn it!
With a vibrating phone, we have Gus.
What's up, people?
All right, sorry, Addam. We skipped over your witty retort.
I mean, I didn't fucking have. I had something, but then I lost it. Somebody's unprofessional. Work with a bunch of amateurs.
All right, so we got a decent show. It's been a couple 2 weeks since we recorded
2 weeks
last. We got a bunch of smaller games to talk about, some kind of indie games that we've been playing. Reviews going up on the site, or are up on the site as of this recording. And then there's been some fun little news that's coming out, so we got a decent show ahead of you.
It's fun. It's fun little news.
But first, we're going to talk about 2016 Game of the Year. We're going to talk about Overwatch, because Overwatch,
fuck yeah, we are.
All of us love Overwatch, and Overwatch has yet another event out. This time it's everyone is wearing blue because that's what they wore back in the day in Overwatch, I guess. I don't know. Is there anyone else? But the costumes that were part of this are kind of underwhelming to me. I don't know.
Oh, I love the Mercy one. I love all of Mercy's skins. They're all fucking great. I think that one's really good.
She's got the beret, right?
Yeah.
Pretty good. So Addam, you've been playing the most of this. Why don't you talk about?
Played a shitload of Overwatch. God damn, I've played more in the past 2 weeks than I've probably played in the last 2 months. Which, I mean, we kind of every so often will talk about it. I didn't get too much into the last couple events. There was the snowball thing, the Maze snowball thing, which was kind of just like a paintball deal, basically. And I mean, it's fine. It's nothing great, but it's fine. And then there was the capture the flag thing they added for the Year of the Rooster, which again is that's okay. I didn't care for the capture the flag. I got my one win after a couple losses and 7 draws, and then I was done. And then I just played normal stuff to get the rest of the skins. There was a lot of
Snowball one. Snowball one was cool.
Yeah, there was a lot. I mean, I remember that Year of the Rooster one. I felt like every time I did it, I was getting a draw, or it's okay, I'm just gonna sit over in this corner and I'm gonna fucking Torbjorn this shit. I'm gonna camp it the fuck out. No shame at that point with it, because it had been going on for 2 weeks. So yeah, they added in a new, not single player, but I guess story thing, I guess is what you'd call it. So it's set during the Omnica Uprising, and it is Tracer's first mission. So they have a story mode version of it where you play as Tracer, Torbjorn, Reinhardt, and Mercy.
Yeah.
And you have to capture 3 points. You then have to guide a payload, and then you have to take out 4 Orissas. And it's really good. It's definitely the thing that you see they could build out a story mode, something with this. Just kind of it's more complex than Junkenstein, where that was just kind of a horde mode thing. And then you every so often
you were just defending a single point, where this one is spread out over the entirety of the King's Row map.
Yeah. And they reworked the map a little bit, not so much that it's entirely different, but the way that you're kind of approaching it is kind of different. You kind of have to lead it. You have to lead through these different corridors and shit. It's really good. I've played a lot of it. I've played a lot of the all heroes, which is just really fun because I've gotten to play a bunch of Orisa, learning her. I had never. So I played a little bit of Ana, and I get her, I get the appeal of using her, but she is such a specific character that I don't ever feel like I have a good opportunity to use it. Same thing with Sombra. There's a lot of good shit that she has, but there's not a lot of reason to use it. I at least I feel like. But Orisa, she has a really good shield. She has a lot of damage output. Like she has a comparable shield to Reinhardt with a lot more damage that she can do, and then she has the like siege mode or whatever they call it, where she just kind of like becomes a brick house, and she's mighty, letting it all hang out. But she's really good, and like this was kind of my introduction to her, and I've kind of just been playing a shitload of this game in between all the different reviews we've been working on. I'm really like I gained like probably 5 or 6 levels out of this whole thing in the past 2 weeks, which
that's decent.
Yeah, it's a good clip.
You are hooked again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It got money out of me again. Because I'm weak. Because I am weak. But fuck it, I got that cool ass Null Sector Orisa skin, so I don't give a shit. There's actually some decent shit. There is a really great Mercy line, which just embodies everything about me being a primary healer character, which is just Mercy just going, I'm not sure why I even bother. Like, that's fucking great. Like, that is my favorite shit. Oh, I love it so much. Yeah, it got its hooks back in, and it got them in strong. We gotta be coming up on the year. Like, we gotta be coming up on the year, right? Like 1 year post-release.
I think, yeah, it came out like the beginning of May, didn't it?
Something like that.
I feel so. Yeah, sounds right.
Man,
they always have the best skins for Mercy, don't they?
They do. She's a fucking great character though. Like we were me and Gus played a little bit of it, and like I was saying, like this is the character that I, as somebody who played a good amount of the medic in TF2, like. This is the character that just like instantly hooked me, and she has really great mobility. And I found a lot of other characters that I've liked, and now like I'm just the sickness is back. I gotta get my boxes. I gotta get my hits. The problem is I'm starting to get those like it's all duplicates boxes, and that's still such bullshit.
It's still a problem.
And it's all like, hey, you got a duplicate spray. You got like 3 duplicate sprays. Like, yeah, motherfucker.
5 coins.
Yeah. Hey, you got 20 coins total because everything was worth 5. Buy more of our shit. It's still just as bad as it was. It's super gross.
I mean, with the update that they did a couple of months ago to where you can win matches and get the loot boxes just for completing matches and stuff like that.
Yeah, the arcade mode.
Yeah, that definitely helps to kind of push you along and not getting loot boxes more often than you used to.
Yeah.
But
okay,
yeah,
so
that's really what hooked me with the what was the Year of the Rooster event. Is that was my first time getting back into it, and it's like, oh, like I just need to win 9 matches and I'll get 3 boxes guaranteed, and probably another 1 or 2 on the way of getting levels, and it's good.
So the other thing that I didn't realize until I kind of came back is they added in the custom game lobbies as well. And boy, what a fucking nightmare garbage wasteland that is. Oh my God. Every fucking match is Mercy sex role playing. If I see you, you die. Look at cool skins. Let's see here. Like you get some that's like, okay, 500% no cooldowns on anything. That's fun. But then it's like, hey, fuck Diva RP. Like that's what they've done. And it's like the garbage trash characters of this thing. Poke Watch, Anna is trainer. What the fuck does that even mean? Reinhardt, Rhine Daddy.
Ryan Daddy.
It's pretty good.
So that's a trash land. But no, I love that game still as much as I did.
Are you like a Mercy main at this point?
No. So I split a lot of my healing between her and Zenyatta. I play a lot of Zenyatta. Like I started kind of messing around with Lucio because I think there's a lot of potential for me to learn Lucio. It's usually like Mercy, Zenyatta, now Orisa, and Diva are kind of my main characters. They're my main go-tos. And then if I can't get one of those, it'll be like, hey, I'll pop in as Pharah or, Ana or somebody.
Cool.
I kind of spread my stuff a little bit wider. I tend not to go towards like Reaper and Soldier 76 because they're just kind of a little bit more boring characters to me.
Cool.
Sometimes it's what you need to win, though. Sometimes you got to have those boring characters.
Sometimes you do. Yeah, you absolutely do. Like somehow I got a win today, and there was a Winston on my team. I don't know how the fuck that happened. That's the weird thing about Overwatch. For like Winston being like this upfront character, like he's the guy that's in a lot of the promotional. He fucking sucks.
Well,
he's so bad.
I mean, he's good for crowd control, but
but that assumes that the people who are playing him know how to play him, and a lot of them don't. It's so bad.
No, you just leap up, and then you get killed instantly, and then you just respawn. That's all. That's what you do.
Don't ever switch your character. Also, another thing, this uprising thing is really fun if you have like other players who know what the fuck they're doing.
Oh yeah.
If you don't, you get instances like what happened to me a couple nights ago where there was somebody who was playing Mei, and I don't know why you would play Mei on that map. And just like throwing up, ice wall, so we can't shoot anything.
Yeah.
Because who the fuck needs that in a map like that, right? And then ended it with a real amazing thing where all three of the other players were down and just ran away from the fucking scene of the crime. Just like, nope, I'm leaving. Bye. And let us all die.
That's why Mei is garbage. And that's
Yeah, Mei is trash. Mei is trash.
All right. So hey,
every time I play and
really
I see her, every time I play and I see Mei, it's just confirmation bias. That's it.
That's why it was funny that they had an entire event where everyone was Mei.
They're like, yeah, everybody's a trash character now. We're all garbage cans now.
Poor Mei.
Yeah, I need to play more of it. How long is that event running to?
May 1st.
Yeah.
Okay. I need to get into that and get some loot boxes and stuff.
Yeah. I think the reset is like tonight, and it's last week. And then who the fuck knows what they're doing after that? I would expect something with year one.
Yeah, year one anniversary.
I saw something where they said that they are play testing, like they're pretty deep in play testing for 3 new maps. Some developers or something like that said in Overwatch. So
sweet
stuff. They're always working on it. They know what they're doing. I don't know. We're still waiting for Doomfist, right? Everyone talks about Doomfist. We need to have Doomfist in the game.
Yeah.
No Terry Crews yet. There is one other thing with it. There is a Torbjorn skin where he does not have a beard, and it's fucking gross.
Yeah, it looks weird.
He looks really wrong, and that's like the one Torbjorn skin I got out of this, so that's cool.
So I like Torbjorn. He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, he's great.
And the very first loot box I pulled out of that was his highlight intro where he is flipping through his scrapbook and it's just pictures of his turret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that I got this highlight intro, and then I got the highlight like the second match I played as Torbjorn, and everyone got to see it. And I was like, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah,
really good. Really happy about that. So yeah, Overwatch still really good. It's a great thing to just kind of go back and pick it up and see what they changed. I need to go back and see what the Orisa. How is it? What's it? I don't know how to say it.
Orisa.
Yeah, I need to go back and check that out because I haven't played her yet. So
she's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll talk about. I've been playing a bunch of things. One thing I have a review out. The other two reviews are coming later this week. I will talk about the oldest one first, which is Beat Cop. So I am a sucker for like pixel graphics and stuff like that. So I saw this on Steam and I had to check it out. Beat Cop, surprisingly, is kind of like Papers, Please, which I don't know if you guys know, but I love Papers, Please. Papers, Please is probably one of my favorite
heard that
Steam
somewhere.
games.
I had heard that somewhere.
I love Papers, Please. Like the guy from Papers, Please, Georgie, which is the funniest part of that game, is my Steam profile picture. To give you an idea of how much I love Papers, Please. And so Papers, Please, the whole point was you are this government employee, you're sitting there and you're doing this menial job where you're stamping passports and denying people whatever, and you have to make choices, and it's a structured like day by day, different things will happen. It's the same every time you play that particular day. So Beat Cop is the same kind of structure, you are a detective who got demoted to beat cop because there's all this controversy surrounding a senator's house, and you shot a guy to death, and then the safe was stolen. They think you stole the diamonds out of the safe and all this stuff. So basically they give you 3 weeks. So every day plays out, slightly different, but they give you 3 weeks to kind of investigate what's going on and prove yourself. But you do it by walking a beat, and you have to decide what to do. There's 2 different crime families there. You have to give parking tickets to cars and have them towed, and you have to solve crimes, or you have to respond to shoplifters or people spraying "fuck the police" on the wall, or whatever it looks like. That literally happens. It's a really it's a game that's filled with like a bunch of like adult themes. Like there is a porn store, and one of the storylines has you helping that guy set up a porn shoot and getting a retired porn star out of retirement and getting his stuff back and working again so that he can do his porn shoot. There's lots of drugs. There's all kinds of stuff going on. It's a really interesting game just because of kind of the way it plays out. Like you have to make choices about whether you're taking bribes or whether you're going to do side jobs for the mafia or for the crew, which is the other gang in the game. So it's kind of like with Papers, Please, where you can kind of go back and play through it again, play that same day with the same events, but make different choices. So I really liked it. And then like the very, very end where everything gets paid off and you make your ultimate choice about what actually happens and whether, what you're going to do based on whether you found the diamonds or didn't find the diamonds, or whether you're going to just become a made man and join the mafia or whatever. And it just like the ending is just nothing. It just like it shows you like a newspaper headline that's like, cop gets back his job as detective, and that's the whole end of the game. And it's like I just spent 7 hours or something like that making all these choices, writing all these tickets, dealing with all these storylines with all this dialogue and whatnot, and then you make a choice and it's just kind of like, all right, game over, and I'll go back and start it over again.
Well, that sucks.
So it's really disappointing because the beginning of the game has this really cool like classic like pixel graphics animated sequence where you see your guy breaking into the house and shooting down the perpetrator, and then you see the window open, the safe is open, and so like it has this really cool like animated opening sequence, and that's kind of what I was expecting. Like give me something, or at least give me dialogue or something.
Yeah.
So it's really like it's hard because I really enjoyed everything going back up, and it's the type of game where I would want to go back and play multiple times and see the different endings and make different decisions, but there's just no payoff whatsoever of actually doing any of that stuff, and it just kills it for me.
And it's not like a game that's like designed to be multiple, like it's not like a game that's like, hey, make all these different choices and see this different ending. Like it's not like anything like that. Like you said, it's like 7 hours. So
it is. I mean, they want you to go back, like, because you can go straight and narrow. You can choose to, favor the mafia. You can choose to favor the crew. So, like, how you do that is going to open up different endings, and there's probably 6 or 7 different endings of the game based on. But you also kind of get a overall choice at the end once you actually, figure out what's going on with the diamonds and all that stuff. Everyone kind of comes to you and it's like, hey, no, go with us. We'll do this. We'll get you your job back, or we'll just have the senator assassinated, or whatever it is. But like all of those choices, because I replayed that day a couple of times and I actually played through it twice anyways. But like you replay that day and make different choices, and it really doesn't change much because you just get a different sentence on a different piece of paper on a newspaper, kind of just saying, hey, this is what happened. And it's like, I don't know. It just doesn't stick the landing, which is what I said in my review. It really disappointed me because everything up until that point I was really liking, because it's crass and it's cynical and it's funny and it's poking fun at like 1980s cop shows, and it's it's dark and it's cool, and then it just falls flat like right at the end and just kind of left me disappointed.
Wow.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks really like I do like the style. I've seen the stuff on Steam for it. It looks really good. That just kind of sucks that like you do all of that just to kind of get a big old fart at the end. I guess it sounds like, Yeah,
it is, and it's just, that's the thing. And it's weird thing is like, it doesn't even go to credits or anything like that. It literally pops up a newspaper headline and then just kicks you back to the main screen.
Wow.
And
Jesus.
Yeah, whereas like I think of specifically think of Papers, Please, because a lot of people also talked about Cart Life, which I've never actually played Cart Life, although I've heard Cart Life is really cool. But it really feels a lot like Papers, Please, just because of the structure of it going day by day. And in Papers, Please, like you got this big crawl of text of everything that's going on, and you got like little cutscenes and stuff like that every time you got one of those endings. And similarly, Papers, Please had like 5 or 6 endings that you can get based on how you ended up that game and the choices you made. And it's just so weird to just have it fall so flat right at the end. Yeah, it's a fun game. I enjoyed my time with it. It just really killed me to kind of get nothing. And if there was more interesting stuff at the end, I probably would have wanted to go back and played it more and check out more endings and make different choices and stuff like that. But I felt just not compelled at all to check out any of that stuff. So,
oh well,
disappointing.
Yeah.
But still an enjoyable game. One of the other games that I've been playing, which was also disappointing, is the new Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale game. Now, I'll preface this. I was actually thinking about this because I popped this up on the Pixel Related website. The Guardians of the Galaxy movie is my favorite Marvel movie that they put out so far. I said that I made that big list of I ranked all of the Marvel movies up to, I think it was before Civil War came out.
Yeah.
So I love Guardians of the Galaxy. And like the Guardians of the Galaxy movie is coming out in like a week and a half. I'm super excited for it. I can't quite tell if this game is supposed to be set in the same universe as the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. It certainly feels like it is, because it has it's the exact same characters. It's the main 5 that you would expect: Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Groot, and Rocket. You see parts with Yondu is in it. Oh my god, Michael Rooker's character. So it has a lot of things. None of the same voice actors. The faces are all different. Like it's not like the Game of Thrones thing that they did where they got the same voice actors and are trying to model the characters after those people. But it just feels so weird to have something that's slightly different to something that is actively going on. But it's still like, it's not like Walking Dead, where Walking Dead was like very clearly a different telling of the TV show. Like it's clearly not the same characters.
Yeah.
Like they're going in a completely different direction, where this is using the same characters of the movies that are out right now. And it didn't really do anything all that interesting. Like it's leading somewhere that's cool, and it's dealing with stuff with like Star-Lord and his mom being dead and maybe not actually dead, or maybe being able to be resurrected. Like it's all, alien technology, blah, blah, blah stuff. And it has a cool action sequence where you are fighting Thanos, which again feels a little weird because we haven't actually seen Thanos in any movie yet besides him just sitting there. Where like it's bouncing, you're kind of controlling all of the Guardians, so it's kind of bouncing back between perspectives and doing, QTEs with Groot's doing this, and then you have to hit down and do this with Drax. So it's got cool like action sequence in it, but it was kind of overall, it was just kind of, I don't know, blah. And it's like they're trying to build conflict between the various characters of the Guardians of the Galaxy, where like Rocket and Gamora aren't getting along, and it's just none of it just feels like, I don't know. I think it's too current of a thing that's going on, where we've only really seen one movie, that it's weird to kind of see like a side story set in that thing, that especially because there's another one coming out, it just feels really odd. It just kind of feels off-putting. I haven't actually sat down and write my review as far as what I'm going to rate it, but it just felt off.
Do you think that it's based off the movie, or do you think it's based off the comic? Like, is it like explicitly like, hey, here's this continuation off of the end of it, or is it like based off of the comic?
No, so
because I can see that being different,
Everything about it is the same universe as the movie. It's obviously a slightly different take, but they got the same, like they got the 80s movie soundtrack in the background, and like I said, a lot of the same characters they're not the same voices or anything like that, but they are the exact same style of characters that showed up in the movie. Like Yondu looks exactly like Yondu does. I don't know, maybe he looks like that exactly in the comic book too. I don't know. I don't read the Guardians of the Galaxy comic books, nor do I know a lot about them. Because no one did, honestly, before that, that movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, so it feels like they're trying to set it in that same universe, but without actually doing the Game of Thrones thing and actually getting those people to do the voices and have to model them after. I think they probably got a lot of people complaining about what they did with Game of Thrones, because those were the worst looking character models in that. when they were actually trying to be after Tyrion and Cersei and whatever. So like I feel like they're trying to do it in the same universe, and it definitely feels like it could be a continuation. Like you're like right off the bat, you're dealing with the Collector and all that stuff, but I feel like it's very much not going to actually be connected to what's going on in the Marvel timeline, because the first thing you do in that game is you kill Thanos, which obviously is not going to happen in the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie, because he's the big baddie of the Marvel universe right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I asked about the connection, because that seems like if it is directly tied into that movie verse, that would just be a really weird thing to do right off the bat. Like, okay, we've never seen him before, right, but now he's in the game,
Yeah, and that's the weird, and that's what's kind of the weird part, is because like it feels like it's connected to this Marvel universe, but then the first thing that happens is that you fairly easily kill like the biggest bad guy in the entire universe. Now I get a feeling, because the whole point is you find this, I forget what they call it. You find this artifact basically that clearly it has some type of resurrective properties. And so I have a feeling that probably at some point Thanos is going to come back to life over the course of this 5 or 6 episode series or whatever it is. But it did feel kind of weird, off-putting to just kind of like right off the bat, you go into this place, you're after Thanos. Rocket has this crazy gun that he created that is, strong enough to destroy moons or whatever, and they kill Thanos with it. And it's like, oh, like that just seems kind of weird considering everything that Marvel stuff, and it's called Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy's, a Telltale series or something like that. By the way, Telltale's like titles for games is getting ridiculously long at this point.
Yeah,
man. So
the same engine's getting really long too. They kind of started looking like shit.
I think it looks all right. It has the same. I don't know if it's something with my computer or whatever, but my computer always seems to have a weird hitch in the Telltale games where I play them, and like when it transitions from scenes or camera angles or whatever, it has like a brief like half-second pause. That's always a little off-putting. And I saw it in Batman. I saw it in Minecraft. I saw it's in this one.
That's everybody's.
Is that everybody?
That's
okay.
all of them. Yeah, that's. I was about to say, like, it's not just you.
It's not just you.
Okay, I haven't watched other, like, if I'm playing these games, I'm going to play them myself. I haven't watched like other gameplay playthroughs or anything of these things. So I'm like, it's just weird. That feels like every Telltale game I played lately is doing this weird thing where every time it shifts camera angles, it pauses for a brief second. So no, I mean, I'm curious, as I am with all the Telltales, to see where it goes. It definitely, as you would expect, leaves off with a cliffhanger. And hey, Groot is great as always. Rocket's funny. Drax is, dry and, like making comments where Star-Lord says something about like, yeah, we're going to bring this train into the station. And he's like, we are not on a train. We are on a spaceship. It's just, he's funny. Like they're funny characters and they work well, but it just, the whole thing just feels a little weird. Like it feels like too close to what Marvel's doing with their movies, but it's not close enough to be the exact same thing. But it's not different enough, like Walking Dead, where it feels like its own separate thing. Like it's in this weird, like uncomfortable middle ground, where it just feels weird.
Does it have Baby Groot, or is it Groot?
No, it is. So, and that's the thing. It's full normal sized Groot. So it's
so it can't be a continuation.
Weird like that.
Yeah, I don't like. This is not. I'm not getting the feeling that this is a continuation.
Yeah,
but this seems like this is like a weird. Like, hey, we're gonna retell this. I genuinely cannot fucking tell.
And at the beginning of the series, they're already together. They're already a group. People know them for having saved the galaxy. But so is it set after the movie that's coming out? I have no idea. No idea what's going on with it. But it's stylistically, it feels the same type of thing. Like they're going for the same aesthetic with the music and the visuals and how everything's designed looks similar, so I can't tell what it is.
Or I mean, it could just be as simple as they're like, hey, it's the thing that everybody identifies this with at this point. Like, I don't know. This thing has seemed super fucking weird since the outset. Like since they announced it,
I wish I read the comics, or at least was more familiar with it, because then we could see, if the whole music vibe and everything was in the comics too. But
yeah, that's a good point. I mean, maybe it is. It feels like compared to the Batman one, which was like clearly doing a different take on Batman than we had seen with such a focus on Bruce Wayne and whatnot. that like this doesn't feel like that's what they're doing. It feels like they are piggybacking on the success of the movie, which is a decent thing to do because the movie's great, but it's not necessarily branching out on its own either, at least yet. But who knows? We'll see as more episodes come out what that actually looks like.
Is it better than Minecraft at this point?
I mean, I'm not like actively annoyed by the characters, which I certainly was with Minecraft.
Okay.
So I'll give it that.
Is
much.
Minecraft still going? Like, I feel like I've never known when that game is going to be done.
I don't know, man.
Minecraft ended. It had like a 5-episode run, and then they did like a hey, here's 3 more episodes, like an epilogue. But Minecraft was weird because you solved like the main conflict of that game. You solved in like episode 4, and then there were still like 3 more episodes after that of doing other things. It was really the way that game was paced was really weird. I should go back and finish it because I don't actually know what happens after that part. But like you solve the main conflict not in the final episode, which is just weird.
Yeah.
For anything.
Yeah. All right.
It's like if the next the next season of Game of Thrones everything wrapped up and they're like, no, we still have 6 more episodes left to go, but Daenerys won, she's on the Iron Throne, or Jon Snow's the king now, or whatever. Like, but no, wait, you still have 6 more episodes left to go. What are we going to do for the next 6 episodes?
Yeah, that's disappointing. I hope that it turns out good because you would think with a franchise like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's kind of a slam dunk, but we'll see.
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, I'll say this, that I didn't really care for the first episode of the Borderlands series, and I ended up loving that when everything was said and done with that. So sometimes it just takes a little bit for it to find its footing or for everything to kind of click with the Telltale games. So,
cool.
All right, so Addam, let's see.
Okay.
We've got a game to talk about.
Thread in Steam. It is based off the comic book, not the movie.
Sure. Yeah. I don't believe it, but sure.
Damn. This is bugging me. This is bugging the shit out of me because this seems really weird that they would do that.
Like, and
dumb.
and it might be
so
based
dumb.
off the
so dumb. I don't know.
Comic book, but everything looks stylistically the same as what were presented in the movie. So I don't know. And if it was going to be based off of, wouldn't you start with, hey, let's get the band together or figure out how these people met? Rather than starting at the property.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how close that movie is to the comic book origin of that group. Because it could just be there like, hey, they already did the movie for us, so fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's like, so I mean, we're talking about the Telltale games, but like you take the Walking Dead series, for example. Like they started that like, hey, Zombie Day is happening right now. Like you were in the back of a police car as zombies happen, and you get to see it from day one, everything that's going on from that point. Whereas like this one's like starting in the middle of it. I don't know, but I mean, I guess like you said, like if you're playing this, you probably know what's going on with Guardian Galaxies. You probably saw the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, so you know where to come from. I don't necessarily have a problem with it being a side story or anything like that, or trying to be its own thing. Just doesn't, like I said, doesn't feel like enough of its own thing yet. Okay.
All right.
I did get a kick out of like one of the very first things where it says something like the Nova Corps will remember that, and I'm like, that's just a goofy line to just talking about this like
Thanos will remember that
this planetary police force. And they're still using the blah, blah, blah. We'll remember this line. I love it. It's so funny.
Rocket Raccoon will remember that.
What was that line?
That certainly popped up.
What was that line in Tales from the Borderlands where you like slap somebody and it said like this person's face will remember that or something? Do you remember that?
No, it's you knock someone out and it was like they will not remember this.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Good stuff. Yeah, Borderlands. Give us Borderlands Season 2. I want to see Borderlands Season 2.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, Addam, you're gonna talk about a game you had to go to the store and buy adult diapers for, if I remember right.
I didn't. I think you would have to. Okay. Even though it's not as scary as the first one, it's way more psychological. Outlast 2. So I played through it this weekend. in about one sitting. So I know Kyle, you didn't play it. I can already guess that. Gus, did you play the original Outlast?
I did play the original Outlast.
Okay,
Scariest game I ever played.
it's
Ooh.
super.
For me, it was.
I love that game. I love that game. I think it's great. This game is way more psychological. Also, so you know how the thing about Outlast, spoilers for the original Outlast. You know how the thing about Outlast is not that it's just about it being set in a mental institution. It's like all of the other shit that's going on there.
Yeah.
Specifically that ending. Yeah, that's the same deal with this. So it's not just about the crazy cult shit that's going on. It's about all the other shit that's going on with it. So you play as this guy Blake, and you are part of a husband-wife reporter duo, and you are basically investigating this woman who killed herself, maybe committed suicide. It's not really exactly clear. You learn that she kind of came from this area in Arizona that's just seemingly deserted. It seems like maybe there's mercury poisoning there, and maybe that's driving people crazy. And as you're going over the town, a big god explosion happens. So you pretty quickly realize that's not the case. Like, this game is not like the original Outlast in that it's trying to hide the shit that's going on. Like, it's brutally honest about being like, no, there's a lot of other shit going on here.
Yeah.
Your helicopter crashes, and you and your wife get separated. The helicopter. There's actually a really good moment at the start of the game where like you like wake up and you go towards the helicopter crash site, and the pilot has just been skinned and like impaled onto a tree.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. And you kind of stumble into this town where it is a crazy Christian cult. I guess you could say it's a Christian cult. They believe that Jesus is coming. They believe that if any woman gets pregnant, that child may become the Antichrist.
Jesus.
So they have to kill all of the children. And then you find out your wife's pregnant.
Of course.
So
Okay, well that's cool.
yeah, so it starts getting super fucked. The like cult atmosphere of it is really, really good. It kind of reminds me of like a lot of 60s, 70s Satan exploitation movies where there would be like, hey, there's this cult of Satanists, and coincidentally, there's also a cult of Satanists in this game. Who kind of show up, and they are totally into the idea of this baby being born and it being the Antichrist. So you get some really conflicting messages there.
I was gonna say, so are the Satanists kind of the good guys then?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the weird thing, is that partway through you're like, I'm kind of siding with the Satanists on this one. And then some late game shit happens, and you're like, oh no, the Satanists are fucking horrible. I don't like either of these guys. So basically you're trying to track down your wife. It's very, I would say, similar-ish to Outlast, where there's a lot of running away, a lot of hiding.
Ugh, I hate this.
I will say this one, the levels are a lot bigger. So you remember, like, the original game had a lot of corridors.
Yeah, it was so tight. It was so
so tight.
Yeah.
This one doesn't have as many, but I think the result of it is you get a lot more spaces where you don't know where you have to go.
Okay.
So you'll have to be like, so it'll be really unclear about like, hey, I got to get up this hill and like get this rope off of there. I have to, go over here. There's one point like end game where you're in a cave with a character who can kind of like hear you. You're in total pitch black. That's another thing. There's a lot more use of your camera here. Like, you have to use night vision constantly, to the point where I was in that final area without any batteries at all, and it's pitch black. It was actually a super miserable experience. I didn't have any enjoyment out of it. It wasn't even that scary. I was like, I kind of just have to shimmy along the wall here and hope I can find the thing that I need to do. But aside from that, like there's a lot more chase sequences. So I'm gonna say this is a thing that's in the trailer, so it's technically not spoiler-ish. But if you want to go into it totally blind, maybe pause for a second, mute it for like a minute, maybe two. So there's a sequence near the end of the game, which I think is so I threw it onto our like game of the year list stuff. It's really great. You are getting chased by these Satanists who have just gone crazy. They have started slaughtering all of these Christians, and it's raining blood. And that's really fucking metal. Like that is so cool. That kind of embodies the whole nature of this thing. It's not going for there's not as many jump scares. What it's doing is it's building up a lot of there's messed up stuff going on all of the time. On top of that, you're getting these weird like flashbacks to your past. And you kind of learn that like your character was at this Christian school. This young girl killed herself supposedly, and as you're like running through the area, you're like literally like, I will run around this corner and all of a sudden I will just be in this school. And I'm trying to kind of piece together what happened there. And there's very clear parallels between what's happening within that story of being in a very heavily Christian environment that has some unsavory things going on in the background. With this Christian cult. Like there's these very clear parallels they try to do, and they work really well. I think it's a game that like I played Resident Evil 7 this year, and I think I liked playing Resident Evil 7 a lot more. It gave you a lot more empowerment. You could do a lot more. Like here, it's the sort of thing where I kind of just wish like I could just grab a rock and just throw it like Far Cry style, just so I can like distract somebody so I can go around them. It just kind of seems like there's no reason for you not to be able to do that.
Well, that's the whole thing with Outlast, right? It's scary because you're so helpless.
Yeah, you can't do anything. It's literally like run and hide. That's
yeah.
One of the other things they changed.
So I'm never going to play this game then. Got it. Cool.
See, I actually think this one would be way better if you were interested in one of these to play, because the like chase sequences are they're super intense. I'm not gonna say they're not. Like they're really like, oh my god, I have to fucking get out of here because they're going to kill me. There's one character who like her like murder animation is consistently like her using a pickaxe to chop your dick off. It's so fucking bad. But there's never like that moment in the original Outlast where like you're in like the doctor scene in the original Outlast where they're like cutting off your fingers and it's super uncomfortable. It's more like, hey, I'm running through this area, there are heads on pikes, I'm like running through this village that is just filled with all of the people that they have exiled who all have like herpes and scabies and like are vomiting on me, and like it's so fucked up. So I think it's like it nails the atmosphere. I think there's maybe a little bit more they could do with the fact that it's so wide open. It sort of reminds me of, so there was this trilogy of John Carpenter movies in the like mid 80s to early 90s. And it was The Thing, Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness. And they were all movies that were set at about the same time, that were all kind of telling their, like, hey, this is the end times sort of thing. Like, in the original Outlast, like, there was the whole wall rider thing that just popped up at the end where it's like, oh, now I'm a demon and I'm going to destroy Earth. This one has a very similar vibe to it. And if you go into this game expecting like, hey, everything is going to just end peachy keen, like don't do that. I don't want to say much else, but don't expect this to end happy for like anyone involved. Because like after the end of the first one, it's like I just straight up was like, yeah, everything's gonna be super fucked by the end of this game, and it is. but it does feel like it's like telling another part of the end of the world story that they're developing. And they've even said as much, that this game takes place at the exact same time as the original Outlast. Like, I think down to the night.
Nice.
It's not connected in any other way. It's just both of these events are taking place on the same night. And that's really cool. They do one other thing that I do like, where you have to record footage now, and it's like you're actually recording it. It's like if you like move the camera over, like as you're kind of walking through the environment, like you can come back to that footage like later, and it'll be exactly how you filmed it.
That's cool.
But that's actually how you get like clues of like, okay, they're talking about the salt mines, so I maybe should consider going down to the salt mines. Or you'll also get like a backstory as like his psyche starts to break down throughout the night. You'll start getting like, he'll just start being like, she was killed by, no, I mean, he was killed by, and it's like you get these like cool little psychological breaks that go through it. It's really good. It's super solid. I did like playing Resident Evil 7 a bit more, but I like the atmosphere, I think, in Outlast just a little bit more. Like, I think they nail that cult feeling just right. Until the end, there's like a little section, that mine section, I don't think needs to be there. Doesn't add much to the game, just kind of drags it out. You can beat this game in like 6 hours, same as like the original Outlast. You can beat it in like 1, maybe 2 sittings. And it's really good. It's really solid. They're putting out that Outlast Trinity, which has like Outlast, Whistleblower. I never played Whistleblower. I should play Whistleblower.
I haven't either. I was so freaked out by the original that I bought the DLC, and then I was like, you know what? Let me just hold off on this for a bit, and I just never went back to it.
Yeah, I had that thing of like I finally finished up. I didn't finish this. I didn't finish the original until like last year, because I had that sort of moment where I hit the wall where it's like I keep dying, and it was getting frustrating to me. So I kind of would put it off. And then last year I'm like, fuck it, it's saying I can do this in like 5 hours. I was able to power past that point. Similar deals do happen here. There's going to be a point where you're like, oh, I keep getting killed. What the fuck do I do? That does happen here, which is a little bit frustrating. But like Whistleblower afterwards, like seeing some of the stuff that happens in Whistleblower, like the scene where you're like strapped to the table and they're like saw blading you like down from your feet up. Like that was the point that I was like, no, I can't do this. I think I'm gonna go back though and finish that. I think that Trinity collection though is probably worth it if you've never played these games. Like they are really good. They're really fucked up and really scary, and you kind of just end up thinking about them for a few days afterwards. Like, oh man, that was messed up. That was real bad.
I still recommend the original. Whenever somebody asks me like, what's a good scary movie? I mean, a good scary game. People tend to ask me around Halloween. I'm like, oh, can't go wrong with Outlast. Just get that.
Right.
Yep.
It's like the perfect amount of time. Like it's a 1-2 sitting game. You can get through it. There's some really good characters in it as well. Same deal with Outlast 2. I like there's a character whose name is escaping me, but they introduced him kind of midway through the game, and he kind of has a blaster master sort of deal where there's like it's like the small guy on top of the big guy, and the small guy has a bow and arrow, and he's really good. The stuff that happens with him is super messed up, but I like it. I like this game a lot. That first trailer they showed where it was like the burning cross, and then it's upside down, and then it's just like goes to pitch black, and you see all the like eyes like staring at you. Like that's such an evocative trailer, but it's exactly what they were trying to deliver here. Like that creepy, cult-ish, Satanist, like exploitation vibe that works. And it doesn't work often. It doesn't work often being like, hey, Satan's the reason for the season. Like it doesn't work. Works here though. It's really good.
Do you think people could play this game without playing the original and like
understand
it?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't need to play. Like I said, the original Outlast is a completely different setting. This is its own deal. They're not building off of that story of the original. Like it's not like the end. It's like the wall rider just shows up and is like, "Hey, how you doing, folks?" You know, like no, it's not. You're not going to be like lost if you play Outlast 2 before you play Outlast 1. Like I would almost recommend playing Outlast 2 before you play Outlast 1 because
Wow.
you can kind of get a vibe of like, okay, this is what I'm going to be dealing with. I'm going to be dealing with a lot of aggro enemies who want to stab me. You get a little bit more freedom to move around. You don't have to be like, hey, I'm going to try to run along the side of this hallway so that I don't get caught. Like you have a little bit more freedom with 2. And then if you're like, hey, I like this one, I want to see that, but in a crazy mental asylum, then you could definitely go back to Outlast 1. You don't lose anything by playing these 2 out of order.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm
impressed that you played 6 hours of a horror game in one sitting. Like that's
Oh yeah, dude, I played like Resident Evil 7 3 times at the start of this year, like on each of the difficulties, including the insane difficulty that they add at the end of it. Like I like horror games. I like them a lot. They make me super uncomfortable at times, but it's the sort of thing where I can deal with that kind of level of. Can't deal with any of the other uncomfortableness of my life, but I can deal with horror video games very well.
The first time I played the
real
original
quick.
Outlast, I could only play for like 30 minutes. I was so like freaked out by it. I had to put the controller down.
Yeah, that's how usually I am with horror games. It's like, all right, I got like a good like 45 minutes. I mean, all right, we should probably go play something happy. Let me go shoot things in Destiny for a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Because like even in the first Outlast, like that first half an hour, it's just building up tension. Like at the very end, you encounter Chris Walker, but you don't you're not getting chased by him. He just throws you off of the top floor of the place after you've seen like all the flayed bodies and everything. It just really built tension very well, and they do the same thing here where they had in the last one, where it's like there's very clearly a section where you're getting chased or you're being hunted, then there's a pause, then there's a chase, then pause. They know how to like balance that stuff out really well. By the end, there are way less pause sections, but they've taught you how to deal with the stuff at that point. So it becomes way more of like, hey, just avoid. You know what to do. Just do the thing. Works super well.
Sweet. I guess shout out to who made this, Red Barrels, right?
Red Barrels, yeah.
Yeah, shout out.
This is like the only games they've done too. They're really fucking good at it.
Yeah, they hooked us up with a review copy, so that's how he got to play it so early.
I was surprised.
Yeah, when is that last out?
Tomorrow, as of this recording. So if you are watching it, yeah. Unless you're listening now. Well, so I got an email from GameStop a couple days ago or a day ago, and it's like, hey, play Outlast 2 early. And I'm like, okay, how are you doing this? And they're just like, you can pick up Outlast 2 at the end of the business day on Monday. And it's like, oh, wow, you guys you can't even be asked to do a midnight release with this. You're like, we'll let you have it. We're not going out of our ways to let you have the Outlast Trinity package, but you can pick it up at the end of the day.
Yeah, pick it up come around like 6. You know, we don't really want to be open at midnight. Just stop on.
We don't want to be up late for the spooky game, which is ironic. You know, they don't want to be open in the dark for the big scary game. Anyways.
I don't think Outlast 2 is a midnight opening type of.
It's definitely not at that size
for GameStop. Probably
it's definitely not at that size, but it's just a weird thing to be like, hey, pick it up end of day. Okay, technically, I can play it early at that point.
Technically,
sure,
yeah,
sure, for sure. So, well, Addam, you and I have both been playing a game also filled with a lot of enemies who want to kill you. Of course,
a lot of cultists, a lot of Satanists.
I don't know about that so much.
That's headcanon.
talking about Flinthook. I talked previously when I was talking about Beat Cop about how I'm kind of a sucker for pixel graphics. This is slightly newer age pixel graphics with beautiful animation and effects and stuff like that. Flinthook is a roguelike game. Now, I generally don't like roguelike games. There's something about like losing your progress and having to start over and over again that I just don't really like. However, with a game like Flinthook, it's a rogue. What would you call it? Like a rogue light, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, kind of.
Where you are doing that, and there is randomized dungeons, and you are going through. So the whole point of the game is you are a ghost space pirate, not a space ghost pirate. That's totally different. In this universe, where the spaceships are wooden pirate ships, because why not? And you are tracking down bounties to kill the galaxy's most wanted. And you do this by boarding various ships, going through them, killing a mini boss at the end, getting a gem, feeding it to your little goo compass guy thingy. I don't even know what it's called. And then eventually you do that enough times, and he will tell you where the boss is, and then you go kill the big boss. And then when you do that, you get to start the whole thing over with a harder set of ships and a harder boss, and then rinse and repeat. You do that, you do that, you do that, you get the next harder boss, and so on. But in roguelite fashion, there is a actual progression system. So the stuff you're doing, the gold you're collecting, you're leveling up. You are getting currency that you can use to buy upgrades to increase your health, to increase your like how much experience you get, increase your abilities, various things here and there. And that's the kind of roguelike game I can get behind. It reminds me a lot of Rogue Legacy, which is another game I really dug because it's not just, hey, just see how far you can do this, like Spelunky, for example. It's like even though playing it, you are actively working towards building your character stronger, so eventually you can face these stronger and tougher things. The reason it's called Flinthook, however, is that you have a grappling hook that is your primary mode. Maybe not your primary mode, but it's a pretty heavy mode of transportation in the game because these pirate ships, for whatever reason, have hooks scattered all around, and so you use your grappling hook to pull yourself towards them. And it's a awesome, like it's a amazing game. It's mixed between platformer, there's some bullet hell stuff in there, there's lots of enemies that you have to fight, and you go into rooms and you're just barraged with wave after wave of enemy until you kill them all. It's got some kind of like almost like a Metroidvania map system where there's different doors leading out of these, relatively, square rooms, rectangular rooms. So you kind of know where you're going, what rooms you've been to, what rooms you haven't been to. It's about getting loot. It's about getting upgrades on your run and just getting as far as you can. And it's so good. It's really good. I've beaten the first two bosses in the game. I got to the third boss last night, and the third boss is completely kicking my ass. Because you have to go through a series of ships before you get to the final boss. And I can't even make it past maybe the second or third ship in the third section because, man, it gets hard, but it is so good. I know, Adam, you haven't played it nearly as much as I have, but you've also played a lot more roguelikes than I have over years.
Yeah, I played it. I played a very minimal amount of it. Like I got through the tutorial and tried to play it. Tried to play through like one time. And so I like I always like it when they're like, hey, you gained XP or you gained money in this case, and like that kind of goes towards unlocking something else. I like that in games like that because it does feel like you've added progression to that. Even like Isaac sort of has that where it has like the bank ability and then you have like the stuff you unlock throughout the runs. So I like it when the games do like that. Like there are other ones like one that always comes to mind whenever I think about like bad examples of that is like Our Darker Purpose, which was basically just Isaac, but terrible, and it didn't feel like it was doing anything very well. It didn't do like any sort of progression. It was like, hey, can you beat this guy? No, too bad. Fuck you. So I like that they like, oh, okay, you can now, buy more of these I forget what they're called, like the abilities, I guess is just what you call them.
Yeah, they're perks. So
Yeah.
they're there's two different sets of upgrades. You have permanent upgrades that are with you forever, and then you have perks, and the perks are on kind of a like old like Call of Duty system where different perks, depending on how good they are worth more points. And at the beginning of the game, you say have 6 points or 5 points to spend. So maybe you can increase your health by a little bit, and that costs 1 point, or you can increase it for a little bit more, and that'll cost 2 points. Or you can make the gun, the range of your gun longer, and that'll cost 3 points, or extra XP with 1 point. So you kind of can mix and match all these different perks based on how you play or based on how you want to attack that run. But then you can, over the course of time, you can get permanent increases to how many perk points you can use, and you get booster packs for leveling up where you are unlocking new perk cards that you can then use. So it's just a really cool way of like try one thing. If that's not working, maybe mess around with your perks so that you can try something different. Like, hey, going in with extra health is usually not a bad thing. I just unlocked a perk, and I don't know if it's random or if it's set as you level up, but I just got a perk that makes me more resistant to traps and stuff like that are in the ship. So that seems to be really helpful. Basically cut like the damage on those in half. It's a cool game, like how the progression works. Like that's the thing that I could never get on board with a lot of roguelikes is just, I just can't stand the, all right, start over. Like, how good did you get? Did you do well? Okay, it doesn't really matter because you're starting over from square one every time you go. And this time, even at the base level, you could just say, I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to get stuff, and I'm just going to grind up to try to buy the next upgrade, and then I'll have 10 more points of health, and then maybe I can tackle this better or something along those lines. But then you're also, as you're going through a run, there are randomized shops that you will run across to where you can buy perks, or you can do like gambling things where you'll get a good perk, or maybe you'll get a bad perk. There's a lot of, in a given run, what you actually encounter can also heavily weigh how good you're actually going to do in that run. Like you get some really bad rolls, or you can get some really tough ships and you just got to deal with it. Or maybe you'll get really awesome perks that you can afford and you can buy during your run, because anything you get during a run is reset at the end of the run. But you can get stuff like, oh, now I can move a lot faster, and now my gun bounces off of walls, and you'll have that through the end of the run to make the boss or the extra ships that you have to go through a lot easier. It's just really cool, and it's the type of thing that's rewarding to play over and over again until you finally get to the point where you can beat that last boss and move on to the next harder set of ships.
I said this to you before, and I'll say it again. I don't get why they don't map that other hook to the second stick, because I always hate having to use the movement stick for anything other than just my movement, because there's just been a lot of instances where it's like, okay, I wanted to go and hook this thing, but I kind of just fell into this fucking pit of spikes. It's frustrating, and I still, like, even after hearing you describe why, I still am like, I don't get it. I don't get why they wouldn't just be like, hey, you can use the right stick for this. It doesn't make much sense to me. I think if they changed that, or they like added that option in, I think I could totally get behind this. But like using that stick in that way, and like, I'm watching video right now of somebody like playing on a pretty high level run of it, and they're very good. Like they've obviously mastered that shit down to a T. But that's just a thing that I'm not interested in doing, which kind of sucks. I love the art style of this. Like, it looks really good in motion, super clean, and aside from that, like, sick thing, like, the movement is super fluid. It does feel like there's a lot of you have a lot of options to avoid getting killed. Which is one thing I always like with roguelikes, is they give you enough options. You just have to know how to use them.
I mean, the controls. And so what Adam's talking about is the controls for movement. And so up front, they tell you pretty strongly that you should just use this with a controller. They're still tweaking like mouse and keyboard settings where we're playing it on Steam. But the movement is on the right, is on the left stick, but aiming is also on the left stick. I can get how that can be a little frustrating. Like, the reason I think they did that, I don't know if this is true, it's not what they said or anything like that. It's just what I've kind of extrapolated, is that you have your hook is on the right trigger. That's, like I said, that's for a lot of it, that's your primary mode of movement. And then shooting your gun is on X. And so the right stick is not used for anything as far as I can tell. And I've got to figure the reason they think that is because they want your thumb and your index finger to be free to shoot and hook as freely as you can without having to, mess with using the right stick and then also trying to hit X at the same time. Could get complicated for sure. And they use the other shoulder buttons and triggers in different ways. There's a slowdown time mechanic that you get, or that you have right from the get-go, where you hold down, I think it's right bumper you do it, or left bumper, I forget, off the top of my head right now. It all comes naturally when you play the game. So you can slow down and then aim in midair and stuff like that. And I think that's a lot of what the game wants you to do, is slow down, take your shots that you need to do, and then kind of get back down. I do feel sometimes that maybe I'm fighting the controls a little bit, but I think that's part of the way that they designed the game. I think it's part of the charm and something that you get used to. I think if you just had instant control where you could be moving one way and shooting in the opposite direction, it would be too easy to kite enemies and get some of the bosses down easier. It hasn't got to the point at all where it's frustrating for me. I've just kind of gotten used to that's how this game is played. Because I'm also not trying to juggle with trying to shoot and aim at the same time, doing some weird claw thing on my controller or whatnot that I always hear people talking about with some games. I never want to do that with a controller ever.
Yeah.
So it doesn't bug me at all. I will say, and I kind of mentioned this before the podcast, I got to the third set. From what I can tell, there are 4 bosses. Each boss gets progressively harder, and you have to go through more ships to get to the final boss. So the first boss, you have to go through 3 ships that get harder as you go along, and then you fight the boss. Second one, it's 4 ships, and then you fight the boss. Third one is 5 ships, and then you get to the boss. But these ships are so difficult, and the enemies get more complicated, and the traps are brutal, and it's rough. It's really rough. In general, in the first 2 runs that I would do, going through the first and second boss, usually it was more of getting through the first couple ships with enough health that I could take down and figure out how to kill the boss and then kill the boss. When this one, I can't even get past like the first 3 ships, like let alone get to the final boss with enough health to figure out how to kill it. So that's definitely going to take me some learning and some, getting good to be able to take down that third boss. But I'm really digging it. Everything from the art style and the gameplay and the wacky characters that are in it, because there's good guys as well that will give you maps or sell you stuff, and they're all weirdly designed and they're all piratey, but they're animals, and it's a cool game. It's a really cool game. I'm really digging it. Hopefully I'm not hitting a giant wall that I can't get past with the third section of the boss. But hey, maybe I just need to grind up some extra health and stuff like that and then tackle it. Who knows?
Cool.
See. Yeah. So yeah, so look out. Yeah, we'll look out. Well, I'll have reviews for Flinthook and also Guardians of the Galaxy up within the next couple of days. So look out for that. Then hopefully I will kill more bosses before I actually get that review written.
We've got a lot of stuff going on with reviews right now, which is great.
Or maybe I will fail miserably and not kill any more bosses, and I think that's okay as well.
Yeah.
So, so I mean that's all the games that we've been playing, or at least the biggest, newest games that we've been playing. We want to touch on a little bit of news before we get out of here. The first is we have a new Call of Duty game, and as has been rumored for like the last 2 years, Call of Duty is going back to World War II, and they're just calling it Call of Duty World War II. I think it's a little bit on the nose, even more so than Battlefield 1.
Yeah. Super paint by numbers, like that was the thing that I was like, okay, that's like the code name for it, right? That's the internal name they're using. When are they gonna oh no, that's the oh dear that's the real name. This game is okay.
They don't want you to be confused about what that game is. That game is World War II. You know what? It's cool. I think that people, for what we've had 4 or 3 years of future war or near future warfare with robots and stuff like that. I think people are ready to go back to a simpler time. I'm excited at the prospect of seeing something like Normandy Beach done with like current era tech compared to what was that, Call of Duty 1 in like 2005 or something, 2003.
I think it was Call of Duty 2.
Did Call of Duty 2 do a Normandy Beach too? I don't know. I remember playing. I feel like I played. I think I played a couple versions of Normandy Beach, and they were both awesome. And to imagine what that would look like with the graphics and the sound effect or whatever that you could pull out of a console or a PC nowadays, that could be super cool. There is some leaked information that came out of it saying that there is going to be some type of standalone co-op mode has come out from like some press materials or something like that's come out. Maybe a return of Spec Ops from what was like Modern Warfare 2? Is it Spec Ops? But it sounded like it's a standalone mode, not just playing the campaign with a second player or something like that. It sounds like it's its own mode. Different, they're talking about like story and stuff like that, different than just zombies. I'm really interested to see what this looks like. I'm actually disappointed that I haven't got a chance to check out the campaign for Infinite Warfare because, as you said and other people have said, that campaign for Infinite Warfare is supposed to be real good.
Super good.
I need to check that out at some point. That's usually what I play with the Call of Duty games, is the campaigns, and I'm definitely interested in what they can do with the World War II campaign because it's been long enough, and I'm curious.
Do you guys think that they had already made the decision to go back in time, or do you think the success of Battlefield 1 kind of was like, okay, maybe we should try this too?
I mean, I think they probably got word that they were working on a World War I game, and they kind of realized, like, oh, maybe let's do that. I don't want to believe this game was created in just a year. That I think there are inherent differences between those types of gameplay that just wouldn't work if they had just been like midway through. They're like, shit, people like that Battlefield 1. Fuck it, change it all. Change it all. Bobby Kotick just high on cocaine, just like change all of it. I don't think that happened, but I don't know.
Yeah, my version of events would be that they probably had, prototypes, maybe a semblance of a story or something like that. That maybe it got rejected once, or because it's been rumored for a couple of years that they were going to go back to World War II. Yeah. And then like Battlefield 1 hit and it was successful, and they're like, all right, yeah, we'll greenlight that thing that you guys have done a decent amount of work on. Yeah. Like you have a semblance of a story. I mean, as far as Call of Duty goes, you can kind of just drag and drop the gameplay and stuff like that. You just got to build the levels and set pieces around it. So, I mean, they could have easily been doing a decent amount of the work and then kind of got confirmation. Or maybe they were all set to do it. And then if Battlefield 1 had crashed and burned, they would have just killed it and said, nope, we're not doing World War II. No one wants World War II.
Vietnam.
Everybody hates these old games. We're going back to the Korean War in this one.
Civil War.
Civil War.
So the thing about this that I guess is tempering my expectations with it is I just started playing the Sniper Elite games, which are all set during World War II. And those games are super good. Like I did not realize how good those games are.
That's what I hear.
So now this game has got a fucking lot to live up to for me to be interested in playing the campaign of that shit. Like,
I'm going to assume that Call of Duty is going to have significantly less testicle shooting involved in it.
Dude, but I can shoot Hitler in the nut. Like, I can do that in Sniper Elite 4. Yes, in the one of them.
I caught that.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, I think, like, especially with, like, that game, because they're using, like, these real stories of shit that, like, people don't really know too much about. Like, them being like, hey, do you know that the Nazis were working on, like, radio-propelled rockets, and that shit could have maybe won them the war? That's super fucked, right? I think like that, just like that idea is maybe to me a little bit more interesting than being like, hey, here's a new version of the thing we did 2 generations ago, or I guess it was 1 generation ago when Call of Duty 2, but I still
10 years.
yeah, I mean, it's been a while. It's been a while. I still just cannot fucking wait until they're like, hey, let's sell Modern Warfare separately so that you can play that on your... Okay, like, no. Like, I can't get into that. Like, fuck that.
I mean, if it hasn't happened by now, I gotta guess that's probably not going to happen. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess, right?
Your exclusivity thing? I don't know.
I think
It's so
that's
stupid.
too much time. Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, if it came out tomorrow, I would be like, man, I'm past it. I'm done already.
Yeah.
I mean,
Too late.
yeah, that's this point. I know. We'll see. We'll have to see. I mean, they didn't even release any trailers or anything like that. They kind of just showed some box art, and then, like I said, some stuff leaked out. The release date is November 8th. So
The thing we know the most about is that it's got PlayStation exclusive content, like the same way they did with what was the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Like it's got the 30-day map pack thing. That's about as much as we know.
Similar to what Microsoft had for years and years and years, and then that switched to Sony. You know, it's actually not written down, but the other thing that was announced was Battlefront 2 was confirmed, has a trailer, has a story mode.
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about Battlefield 2, and I'm like, wait, did they just go full on like, hey, we're just call it, we're just going Battlefield 1, Battlefield 2, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, then we get the Bad Company reboot after that.
I'm down for a Bad Company reboot. I like Bad Company.
Yeah.
No, Battlefront 2. So we have an actual story mode set around like a rogue, or not a rogue group, like a Imperial group of spies or something along those lines.
Post Emperor getting fucking killed.
Yeah,
that's cool. I'm so into that idea of like, hey, this is the stuff that we have between there, and I mean, probably they're going to turn to be good guys by the end of it, but I kind of hope not. Kind of hope they're just like, hey, now we're forming the First Order and we're gonna fuck shit up real bad.
I thought we were gonna say like the end of that game is just you guys all getting slaughtered by Luke Skywalker, just getting killed,
Killed the Sand People. I killed them all, the women and children.
No, that's different Skywalker, totally different Skywalker. So yeah, I mean, so that sounds interesting, sounds cool. There's also things going on with Battlefront 2 about how they're not going to have a season pass. But then
going
they
the
came out and were like,
route.
We're not ready to talk about that yet, though. Even though like one of the lead developers said that they weren't going to have a season pass.
We weren't planning on it, but they decided, hey, fuck it.
I would love.
It didn't work out too well for Titanfall 2.
I love me some Titanfall 2.
I mean, they're still doing shit for it, you know.
Yeah, there's a big thing coming like
tomorrow,
next month, isn't there? Is it tomorrow? Okay, even sooner than that.
Well, tomorrow they're releasing a new map and some other stuff, but they're still going to start releasing free Titans, I think, within next month, I believe. More Titans.
Titanfall's good. Titanfall's good, and more games doing that. Like I always complained about with multiplayer games about fracturing the multiplayer base between. Do you have the map pack? Do you not have the map pack? Do you not have map pack 2? You only have map pack 1? Okay, then you got to play in this. Like, it just gets so complicated. So just say, hey, all the maps free. Buy our loot boxes or buy our whatever. Like,
yeah,
I think that's a more friendly way to foster a community. Hey, maybe they'll do that with. Maybe they'll do it at Battlefront, or maybe they just mean that if you want to buy the DLC, you just have to buy it piecemeal. You can't buy it all at once. At a discount. Maybe
that's like, probably what they mean. Right?
No more discounts for you guys, you freeloaders. So yeah. So the last bit of news here. So hey, you guys remember when we did our Game of the Year awards and we awarded the NES Classic the biggest blunder of 2016 for the design of it, some of the games, the controller length, and then like the scarcity of the console. Yeah, so they just discontinued it, and they're like, we're not making any more of these. We were never intending to make a bunch of them. It was always going to be a limited.
Yeah, that's a lie. That's actually them lying, because they never once sold it as it's a limited thing.
Yeah, they never did.
They're fucking lying. It's so gross. It's so fucking gross. Them saying that, saying like, hey, we already did we did an additional run for you guys. We're doing that
we
for
were
you.
Even expecting to. Like, we made more than we were said we were gonna. We didn't tell you that, but we did.
It's
such a clusterfuck. It's so bad.
I don't know why they don't like making money. Just keep freaking making them. I don't know. It just makes.
I don't know. I don't understand why they don't like making money. It's unfathomable to me. Like, I don't. Do they think that they are? I mean, look at. There's no Switch Virtual Console, so it's not like they're stealing Virtual Console sales from themselves or anything like that.
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't making that much money on them, and so it's more practical to turn that manufacturing over to the, to more Switches or to the rumored SNES Classic that's supposed to be coming out this holiday. Which, by the way, if they make an SNES Classic, I am all over that.
You're all over sitting, waiting for that thing to become available until they decide to cancel it.
That's, you know what, I would be all, because I love the NES, but there are like the high point games of the SNES are fantastic, and like you could make a 30 game collection of an SNES, and all of them will be like some of the best games of all time. Whereas the NES, I feel like you start dredging some of those like bottom 10 or so, or maybe a little bit more questionable.
How much would you pay for an NES Classic? Like, what do you think? Like 100?
I'd pay 60.
SNES or an
SNES?
I mean, 60 seems like a good price point, I think. I guess it depends on what exactly it ends up being, and if it hits all the games that I would want it to be. Because there's probably some more obscure games that I would think would be cool if it were on there that probably wouldn't be on there. Like, I would love to see Nintendo bring back Tetris Attack, for example, before they made it all Pokemon Puzzle League. That was a fantastic game. Are they going to put some version of Street Fighter on there? Or are they going to, obviously they'll have Mario and Zelda and Metroid, and those are givens. It's like, what is that kind of like third-party old school stuff that, that gets on there? That could be worth it, Does it come with a controller that's not 4 feet long?
That'd be cool. If I don't have to have a 10-foot HDMI cable to run it so that I can actually use the fucking thing, that'd be cool. It's going to have a lot of value to it for me to not just be like, hey, I can just go over to EMU Paradise and get all of these games and get them running better and get the ones like I get, like there's something about like having that physical form, and like it's very nice to look at. It's super aesthetically pleasing. That's the main reason I bought this thing. Was not to play those games. It was to have something nice to look at.
And if they do like a really good, like, which I would expect Nintendo to do, like Super Nintendo controller that feels like the Super Nintendo controller, like I could definitely be on board with that. That could be super cool. But I don't know. I mean, I probably, if I had seen an NES Classic, I probably would have picked one up if it was a couple months ago. At this point, it's just like whatever. I don't even care anymore. But the SNES, yeah, that's something I would probably try to pre-order or whatever that could look like. I don't know. It makes me scared though, because what if they put one out and I can never find one? I'm not going to spend like $200 on eBay for an SNES Classic, so then I'll just go pirate it.
Yeah,
I don't want to do ROMs and pirating. I want to play them legit. I want to be legit.
I think it's just as legit to get them through emulation. I think it's just as legit, especially if they want to do this bullshit where they're like, hey, we're going to limit the stock. Fuck you. I'm going to get this stuff on my computer. I'm going to get more stuff on my computer than you can fit into there. Or fuck it. Let me open up this bitch and let me, add that little Raspberry Pi add-on into there. And I can get every fucking game that was ever on that system. I have no qualms about after Nintendo has been doing this sort of shit. I have no qualms about being like, hey, SNES, NES, N64, GameCube games, even at this point, there are better ways to run them than what Nintendo has done. Unless that Switch Virtual Console offers some real good shit for those GameCube titles that are supposedly coming, it's a lot easier to run them off of Dolphin, and you get better frame rates, you get way more options than they allow you to. You don't have to pay an absurd amount of money. Like, there are so many games that have been on the virtual console that's like, hey, this is $10. Like, I wouldn't pay $2 for this. I wouldn't. Like, you're overpricing your bullshit. You have this market locked down, and they don't want to give an inch to it. So I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem if somebody goes and gets an emulator of, say, Project 64 and puts it on their computer so that they can play Banjo-Kazooie, which is a fucking better game than Ukulele could ever fucking hope to be, because that game sucks. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. Oh, I hate it.
Coming out of nowhere.
Calm down.
Yeah, fuck Nintendo. Fuck Nintendo, I'll buy all their shit.
Fuck Nintendo.
Fuck Nintendo, yeah, I'll buy all their shit.
Stuff. We bought their Switch. We're gonna buy Mario Kart Deluxe when it comes out, but
yeah, fuck them. Fuck them, but I will buy all of the things that you put out, because you make great stuff, but you make like 3 of them.
Speaking of Nintendo, should I do the Twitter poll of the week, since it is Nintendo based?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, let's do that, because I mean, there's a reason we put those polls up. So
yeah,
probably should do them.
All right. So the last one. Okay. So the question was: it's been over a month since the Nintendo Switch launch. What are your thoughts on Nintendo's latest console? So I can only come up with four what are they called? Choices. So I went with I love it, I regret my purchase, waiting on a deal/bundle, or no interest in buying one. You want to guess what one you guys want to say?
I mean,
I would assume like waiting on like a deal or something like that. That's what I would guess.
I'm gonna say that it was I love it. I haven't seen the poll results at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, yeah.
Okay,
so 45% said I love it. 40% said that they're waiting on buying one. Oh no, my bad. 40% said they actually have no interest in buying one.
Jeez.
And 15% said they're waiting on the deal/bundle.
So no one regrets their purchase.
Yeah.
No one.
I thought maybe if I put that in there, maybe someone would say it, but I guess not. I guess
I don't. At this point, I don't regret my purchase. I've been happy with it as my Zelda player. I'm a little frustrated sometimes when I've run into things with like the Joy-Con issues and whatnot. Like I'm probably have to go buy a second pair of Joy-Cons to play Mario Kart with my kids, and that's kind of annoying. Because those things are expensive. But I like it. It's good.
I like the hardware. I mean, I think it's a really solid portable. I have played that game in portable mode. I have played stuff way more in portable mode than I've played even on the TV, and it's really good for that. So, I don't regret it.
No, I've been very happy with it.
I'm waiting on a deal. I'm in that camp.
You're waiting on a deal?
Fair.
That's
not
a bad way to go.
Cool.
That'll happen eventually. There'll be deals with Mario, or there'll be deals with Mario Kart, or who knows what. I mean, that'll happen. Where you can buy those like $500 packs that you get, the extra controller and the memory card, and you don't actually save any money with it.
GameStop exclusive.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Oh, we actually have feedback this week too. Did you guys want me to read that?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So we have some feedback from last week's episode from, excuse me, I'm going to butcher your name, Muzi M. He reached out to us on the website. Thanks for doing that. And this is in regards to when we were talking about Thimbleweed Park, Ukulele, and all the different...
Game's terrible. Yeah. It's so bad.
Yeah, all the different
Kickstarter. So bad.
All right. So he went on to say, okay, this is an interesting perspective on the Kickstarter discussion, because it's all the Kickstarters I didn't pay much attention to. PC RPGs are where it's at. Wasteland 2, Torment, Divinity 1 and 2, all the Shadowruns. Most of them brought in 1 to 3 million too, and were the original record holders until things like Shenmue 3 and Bloodstained hit. Ukulele brought in less than Pillars of Eternity, which was also good if you like CRPGs. Enjoyed the Persona 5 talk. Excited to hear what you guys think when you get further in. So, I don't know.
Hey, I need to get further into Persona 5
Totally.
just by itself. I'm busy playing all these other games for reviews. You know what it really comes down to is that those games are way too hardcore for me, and I do not have time for. I don't even have time to finish Mass Effect. I haven't played Horizon. Like, I cannot get into some of those crazy PC RPGs as quality as I'm sure they are.
Like, after we did that podcast, I totally remembered that. Like, oh yeah, that's right. I totally have. I totally did not a Kickstarter back, but like I did this is included with a pack for like the Kickstarter of Bard's Tale. But like I totally backed Torment, and I played Pillars of Eternity to some degree.
Cool.
I mean, hey, also talk about CRPGs. Hey, we got a review up for Planescape Torment Enhanced Edition. Man, I never played that game. That game's really goddamn good. I never played like any of those. Like Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, like all of those games passed me by, and I never heard people at the time talk about Planescape Torment until like 7 or 8 years later, and by then it was so difficult to get that running on like a modern system. Like the only way that for a while you could buy it was like you had to buy a Dungeons and Dragons collection, which I think I technically did. I think it was like $2 or something on like Gamers Gate or something like that. And like even then it was super tough to run. And this version is super cool. It's really good. Not doing the traditional like save the world thing. It's like, hey, you're this guy who can't die. Figure out how to die. That's super cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I've always wanted to check out. I own those new, or they're not new. They're a couple years old now at this point. Those Shadowrun games that were kickstarted. Those always looked so cool to me, and I have them. I've just never gotten around to checking them out.
Yeah.
But they look really good.
Totally. After we talked about it, I kind of like went back to my Kickstarter list. It's like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of shit on here that we just didn't talk about. Like, you know, there was the Kickstarter for We Happy Few. There was like the entire like Brian Fargo, Chris Avalon like trilogy of Torment, Wasteland, and Pillars of Eternity, and then like eventually Bard's Tale, but they haven't done anything with Bard's Tale, which is super worrying at this point. But yeah, like those games, like I think those games get like I think they get the advantage of they're not a thing that the general public who is playing things like I never played those sorts of games growing up, so like the advantage that I have is that I didn't have any expectations for them. So like when I play them, it's kind of blowing me away how good they are.
Cool.
Oh, sure. So yeah, I think that's pretty much going to do it. Like we were saying, we got some reviews up on the site for we got reviews up for Outlast. We got reviews up for Beat Cop. We're going to have what is that game? What's their Symphony game called, Adam? I don't know the full title.
Symphony of the Machine?
Symphony of the Machine. That's going up. We're going to reviews up for Flinthook and Guardians of the Galaxy coming out also this week. Is there anything else that I'm forgetting that's coming up this week? Check out the website. We got a bunch of stuff coming up. We've been playing a lot of games.
Yep.
And check us out on YouTube. I am joining.
I was totally muted there. I was completely muted there. I was talking, and I was just like, oh, man, Kyle is just fucking steamrolling me. He's like, fuck everything you have to say. Yeah, so we're going to have a review for Symphony of the Machine, Guardians of the Galaxy, Flinthook. We had a review for Outlast today. We did a review for Planescape Torment. We did a review for Mr. Shifty. There's going to be some other shit that we got going on as well. I'm sure. I've been playing too many games for review to play the other games that I want to play. So,
yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
When those games are good, you know, and yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, also check us out on YouTube. I have joined Gus in the streaming my stuff. I streamed my playthrough the Guardians of the Galaxy. You can watch me be successful at Flinthook. Did not stream any of the failed attempts that I have many failed attempts that I have made at playing Flinthook. So you can watch my good successful run, about half an hour or so of gameplay. If you want to check out what that game is about, that is up on our YouTube page. And I was Kyle. That's Addam. That's Gus. And we will see you next time.